Oh, here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, it's somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
As you start to tumble backwards down the stairs, you sort of, kick up, you right yourself, bouncing on your heel another step backwards, you, hold your arm out to almost steady yourself, and Harlock sends her arm flying back to you, catching you hand in hand and pulling you another step forward.
I reel him in like a fish and into my arms, and I put a finger to his lips. Shh.
I'm sure Shoujo sparkles everywhere.
Okay, Marcus, Mercy.
Oh God, go
ahead.
ahead.
Out of curiosity, when we're on the ground floor, is this thing having to press itself up to reach us, or is it very much just on the exact same level as us?
How high up are we?
You guys are more or less on the ground floor. You're a little above it. This thing it has to struggle itself up a little bit. The best way to put it is, the gaps between the two columns are variable in terms of how big the slope is. So the amount of difficulty this thing is, currently facing to get to you guys is, okay. Thinking about it spatially, it needs to yoink itself up somewhat. It's slightly...
It's an engineering term.
Yeah, very technical, and anyone will tell you it.
It's got good core strength, though. We know it has abs.
Yeah.
Yes,
Fuck.
It has fantastic abs. I'm trying to, describe this spatially. It's it's not on an even plane with you. It is slightly below, and it will have to lift itself up with its gigantic abdominal muscles to reach you.
Okay, so we're talking small dog up against kid gate. It's got to press itself up to okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Now, to either side here, are there windows looking out, or what?
No, the tower is completely sealed in.
Okay.
Oh.
We just started blasting.
Except for the hole that
Except
this
for the
thing
hole
made.
now. You can see the outside past the hole.
Okay. Mercy is just going to sprint as far ahead as she can and make as much noise as possible so that it thinks the whole group is over there. Trying to bait it out as best as she can. So I'll just start scooting her probably that's as far as she can get.
Yeah, move her. That's perfect. Marcus, do you wish to assist with this plan, or do you have one of your own?
Marcus.
Yeah?
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Can you lubricate the hallway?
Why are you holding Gregor so gingerly right now?
I caught him. I saved his life.
Well done. And you want grease? You want lots of grease?
I need you to lubricate the hallway so this thing can't right itself and then chase us.
You're a genius. Wait, but
I
if
know.
we lubricate the hallway, won't we slip?
Lubricate after us.
Or ahead of us,
Okay,
we'll just
well,
slide.
what if I lubricate its...
That's a good point.
That's
We are
a
much
good
more
idea.
maneuverable than this thing.
Too fast.
Gregor has thoughts about this, but he's been shushed.
Harlock has not taken her finger away from Gregor's mouth as she has this conversation.
Jay, let me ask you this. Do you think that Marcus is able to cast a basic grease spell?
Yeah, you also have the fucking Grease Meister General
Master?
right next to you.
I was gonna say, I also immediately turned to Inian and go, Inian,
Yeah.
I can cast a grease cantrip
Okay.
easily enough.
No,
but
you don't.
I don't-
No, Marcus. You don't cast grease. Your grease isn't grease. It's like canola oil or olive oil or something.
Okay. Please help me.
Okay.
Can you show me how it's done?
I'm just saying. when you come before the master, you best bring the highest quality grease.
Oh, I think we just need any grease. Any and all grease.
It's attitudes like this, which is why you are on the very bottom rung of the grease
Idiot, it's not the
hierarchy.
time!
We don't need your hair grease. We just need.
Okay. So, in order, we're going to play out Marcus creating a wave of grease, and then Mercy, you are going to run in front of the wave of grease, progressing across, making as much sound and noise as you possibly can to make it think it's hauling ass after you.
Marcus lets Inian lead the way and start off with the incantation and the spellcasting motions, and he really just takes all of his cues from her, from the master, from the maestro of grease. And yeah, together I think they conjure, it's the best consistency of grease that Marcus has ever personally achieved in his entire life. I'd be lying if I said that he wasn't a little bit elated just at having reached these heights of greasomancy. And a small tidal wave, I would say, waist high. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm digging with
Roughly.
I'm digging that. I'll handle the next chunk of narration. You managed to successfully coordinate with Inian, calling forth an almost line of grease that assembles itself in front of you. It raises to about chest height and then unfurls, spreading across the hallway in a glorious consistency, just runny enough
Just
to achieve
right.
optimal spread. And as it slides across the hallway, it begins to catch up with Mercedes, and she drives herself forward, creating this great clamor to draw the creature to her, so it is not immediately stomping you guys down the stairs. And as she goes, she hears the sounds of support magic rushing in her direction. And she
Run, Mercy, run!
Oh my god, what is that?
Grease!
Why?
It's nothing but grease!
Mercy, outrun the wave.
Oh no.
Mercy, your plan was to draw the attention of the creature to you so it would not stomp your allies. That has been achieved, but now an additional environmental hazard has been added to the equation. You see the wave of grease approaching from behind you, and you know what'll happen the second it touches you, and as such you start hauling ass more.
Yeah, no, Mercy just.
What happens is you get slippery.
It will be far worse than that.
I mean, Mercy will get slippery. Everyone else will,
Toasty.
you know.
I mean, on the positive side, like, if I get covered in the grease and then light it on fire, I might restore a wound.
Cool. You attempt to look at the positive side as you begin to sprint away. You've successfully drawn the creature's attention, and you manage to stay ahead of the line of grease for now. Now is the point that the creature takes an action. So, you lead ahead your line of grease, and you've successfully distracted this gigantic juggernaut of a creature, and it draws its body up and sort of slams again, now on this side, trying to drag itself through the wall next to you, Mercy. You manage to stay ahead of it, and that's a great thing, but its tail whips up and lashes into this section of the tower, and then you realize what this thing is doing. It is creating perforations in the outside, and from these descend from on high, one after the other, additional angels that pour into the arena, now born on your wave of grease, and they immediately become entangled. Mercy, you are the one out front as the entire tower shakes and you realize this thing is leading an army to your guys' location. And you look back just for a second as you see the cloud of angels descend on your friends, and you go, shit. Because right now you have no choice but to keep running, or those friends will also be in a raging inferno. So you keep charging forwards, and as you do, you contort your body forwards, and the entire tower shakes. This thing, one of its gigantic claws, reaches through, actually sweeps, and you are caught by one of its long balancing toes, just thwacked in the chest. The smallest appendage of this thing actually hurts a lot. You take a wound, you stumble, but you keep going. Next, Marcus. These angels fly in after you. The hole that's just been freshly created, immediately proving a great point of entry for them. They just send on your group, and one of them grabs you and begins to exit.
Oh.
What? Foul play! Foul play!
That is disadvantageous.
Finally, the last angel moves into your group, and as Gregor and Harlock, as you steady yourselves, Harlock, you release the shush for half of a second, and just in enough time for Gregor to take one step backwards and then get wanged in the side by a projectile significant tungsten. Gregor, you managed to catch the donkey and steady yourself. However, you are now holding a donkey teetering on these stairs. Oh boy. Next would be, and Ian's already done something, the grease. Kira's going to lift his sword and swing it down. He brings it into the creature's shoulder blade and causes the teeth to bite and gnash against it. He drives it forward into the stone, and you hear an almost jackhammering noise as he inflicts a wound upon the creature. It's stuck there, pinned in place.
Mercy, having lost her footing a little bit there, she's a little bit dazed from the impact because, good God, that's a lot of weight to suddenly get into the sternum.
Yeah.
She is able to stop for just a moment and give it the best roundhouse kick she can. She's hoping to at least bend metal. This is the first time where she's hit something and doesn't really see much change visibly, which is concerning. However, she does see that the leg actually does buckle and move to the side just enough. And she doesn't stick around to see what happens, though. She keeps going.
Mercy, you may place yourself anywhere between here and here. Choose where you want to be.
I feel like you got something cooking. I'm gonna pick pillars.
Yes.
Because that sounds climactic.
Okay, excellent. So, you charge down the hallway, not even giving it a second thought as you hear the creaking of metal behind you as the entire thing pitches to the side. It tries to balance its body on its right arm, but due to the wave of grease that's rapidly encroaching behind you, it's not able to fully and properly interlock, and you hear a comedy slide and a crash as the entire body upends and slides backwards out the hole. Next up would be Marcus.
Marcus, thrashing and trying to get out of this creature's grasp, and obviously failing, quickly yells, "I hope you know this is in very, very bad form." Then, with his free hand, snaps his fingers and poofs an imp into existence that clambers up onto the creature's neck and shoulders. This is, of course, the one, the only Buckaroo Biff with cowboy boots that have spurs and a length of rawhide that can be used as makeshift reins in a pinch.
I can't believe you had a cowboy imp in your pocket just for such an occasion.
I just made it up. Giving Buckaroo Biff a solemn nod and getting an equally solemn hat tip in return. Marcus bursts apart into a cloud of writhing mist and reforms roughly 5 feet away, very narrowly avoiding slipping on the greasy floor.
Buckaroo Biff springs into existence within the domed reality that is Tannhauser. Absolutely awful, dreadful place, evidenced primarily by the fact that he is currently bound, kicking and screaming to the back of an angelic nightmare. Doing his absolute best as a coward boy, he throws the reins around the angel and tries to pilot it around and away from the contractor. However, all he witnesses from his tiny, squidgy little perspective is a blur as Marcus reforms in reality. He touches down on the ground, a great billow of his cape behind him, and then, in that moment, he is snatched up and dragged away by a net. Harlock, you have managed to, over the last few moments, disengage a net from your backpack and fire it behind you, dragging everyone with. Now, the exact moment by moment of this plan had you detaching the net, putting it on your arm, aiming it backwards, and firing. Gregor sees this. He sees the look in your eyes, and he jumps and lands atop the net, allowing Tungsten to be grabbed instead. Tungsten is rapidly added to the ball as Harlock begins to pick up speed and momentum, catching Marcus, catching Kier, catching Inian. As this ball rides and rolls through the grease, only Inian is at home enough, moving through the area like a mermaid upon water. She aims backwards, firing a fireball, which mercifully does not immediately ignite the grease, backwards at this angel that is currently pinned to the wall by Kier's sword. Kier yells back to Gregor, "Gregor, give us for me!" The entire ball is carried away. Gregor, you watch the angel in front of you burst into flames. Harlock, I want you to decide. Where is the ball ending its movement? I would normally not let you travel as far as Mercy has, but Mercy's successive and successful rolls mean you can place yourself anywhere up to, like, this.
We are also
like,
literally like greased lightning right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we're
you're-
going fast. We got a mermaid pulling us. I think we go as far as we can.
You go as far as you can? Okay, you wind up here then. And the ball rolls to a stop. Significant tungsten boom loudly.
Yeah, you could say that again.
Gregor! What do you do?
Oh boy. Well, Gregor would never leave anyone without their prized weapon. So he runs up and wrenches Kier's huge sword out of this creature, and using that momentum, takes the large, flat blade, lets it go, and then jumps on top of it.
Are you gonna fucking surf a sword down the grease trail?
Fuck.
Yeah, and that's a great euphemism.
Also, that's gonna make sparks, huh?
Oh, you don't even know. Gregor. Now,
Okay, Gregor.
Gregor knows a lot about blades, and he doesn't know a lot about engineering, but he's seen the things Kier's sword can do. So he stomps on all the bits and bobs a bit until it starts. The sword kicks to life with a rumble, and the exhaust blasts out. He begins rocketing forward.
It sounds like a goddamn motorboat. Gregor, this angel sweeps in from above, piloted by an imp rider.
Gregor knows these things inside and out, and so he turns it inside out.
Riding the sword forward, you swing through the angel, exploding it like a gigantic bit of confetti over your swordboard, and the imp lands dramatically on top of you instead.
Buckaroo Biff recognizes a fellow cowboy when he sees one.
As you travel, the sparks from the blade indeed do set the path behind you on fire.
Biff reaches out and lights a hand-rolled cigarette with it.
And it's around this point that I remember the negative consequence, and Gregor, as you travel immediately beneath the overturned Colossus, your eyes catch something, a glimmer on the light as something, Gregor, your eyes catch the light, and you see something equivalently ridiculously. The tail has sort of inclined, trying to get balance. It pitches up and down like a rudder, trying to find purchase so that the beast can right itself. But as it hangs in the air as a perfect, almost like a half pipe, you see someone descending from above, pissed off that you skipped his boss fight. He slides down the belly of the beast and immediately lands, hitting in front of you, sending out another wave of concussive force. Mercy, you rocket forwards and immediately hit a pillar. Harlock, you rocket forwards and into the abyss.
Bye.
Harlock, you hit the wall, and in a storm of sand, you are immediately submerged, vanishing within the skin of the tower.